Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Max Hesse of one of the latest BMW factory drivers. How's it going?
Hey man, thanks for having me. All good. How are you?
Doing well. So for people that might not, know a lot about you, or I don't follow, since we're talking about Rolex and stuff, we figured why not get one my guy get a factory driver on here. So kind of explain what you do.
Yeah, so basically, I was part of the BMW junior team the past 3 years, mainly located doing stuff around the Nürburgring Nordschleife, since that was the goal from BMW, getting three guys, 18 years old, and learning the Nordschleife, which we have done now the past 3 years. And yeah, I was lucky enough to get picked up now as a full works driver. And we'll continue doing 24-hour races on the Nürburgring. Took part this year already in the 24 hours of Dubai together with WRT. And yeah, most likely we'll do another championship as well, hopefully this year.
Yeah. By the way, Max, just for the audience, so the audience knows, how old are you by chance?
21.
You're 21 years old, and you've experienced a lot. Of course, being from Germany and all that stuff. How did you first get into racing?
I started extremely young. So my dad was always a fan and involved in motorsport, but he never had the chance to do it himself. And I got a go-kart when I was 2 years old. So then I was trying to be able to drive it, but mom wasn't too happy, so I had to wait for a bit more. But then when I was 3.5, I had the chance to drive my first time, and yeah, since then I always wanted to be a works driver, and luckily this year I've made it now.
Yeah. Of course, you've gotten a chance to do a lot of cool things this year, and I know that a lot of your plans have not been announced yet. We'll get to them in a minute. But overall, your year is looking pretty exciting for you.
Yeah, for sure. I have a full calendar, which is nice. It started really early already with Dubai in the second week of January, where we had a decent race. Obviously, first time for WT with BMW together, which was awesome to be involved in that program, and being able to share the car with Valentino Rossi was also really cool. Another addition of our new factory drivers for this year as well. So that was nice. And then yeah, apart from racing, obviously a lot of stuff with the simulator and GT4, GT3 development. So I'm quite busy.
When you look at just overall testing these cars and all that stuff, and sports cars, and especially possibly with new hybrid components as well, what's it like just to see all the nuances that, of course, all the, like, not just being that BMW has kind of put on with all the sports cars around the world.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And I think also for me now, it's the last year and this year, it's where it's getting really interesting, as well as seeing what development we actually can do with the cars in terms of electronics and all these type of things. Also speaking about the LMDH program, where we have hybrid system involved and so on. So there's obviously the first race now in Daytona this week, which is going to be very interesting. So there are a lot of things going on, and something I also find interesting is being able to drive the old car, let's say, when we produce something new like the G82 now with the GT4, and really being involved from the first minutes on, and yeah, seeing how much we can improve the old lady, let's say.
Yeah. So you mentioned Daytona, and of course they have BMW. Of course, has entered into in the GTP class. By the way, we're going to talk to one of those drivers Friday. So and also we also talked with we've done a lot of BMW stuff. Of course, John Edwards was on here last week. One of the newest BMW drivers, Robbie Foley, was on here yesterday, talking about, of course, just upgraded to a Gold Star driver. But is something that is the Rolex 24 intriguing to you? I'm sure it does. Would you ever try it or anything like that?
100%, yes. No, I obviously would love to. So far my commitments have been, I just say, inside Europe, apart from one race in Sebring I've done at the end of 2021. But obviously, if I would have the chance, I would love to do Daytona. I was there as a spectator in 2020, which was awesome with BMW when they won the last time with the M8. So yeah, I would obviously be very excited to get back there.
Yeah, so let's obviously this year You mentioned, of course, BMW is kind of obviously entering into the main class, of course, the GTP class, along with Porsche, and of course Cadillac and Acura were already there. What are your first impressions of this car? That it is.
It's amazing. I was lucky enough to drive it already. I was one of the first guys, and it's such a big step when you're used to drive a GT3. So it's really really cool. A big challenge, especially in the
Yeah.
little weeks we had, let's say. So to get this thing ready, I mean, hats up to everybody inside Munich from BMW, but also from Dallara and so on to make it work. And yeah, let's hope it's gonna do well this weekend.
Yeah. So let's kind of talk about just overall with the endurance races that you're going to do. What's it take to win one of these things?
A lot of preparation, a lot of luck, and a good group of people, which I think we really have inside BMW. We've been doing a lot of progress the last few years. We had a good weekend in Spa last year with the new car. Unfortunately, just before the end of the race, some punctures were hurting us, but I think we had a good development year and yeah, kind of like a build up with the new car with the M4 GT3. So hopefully this year we can really bounce back and hopefully win one of the big races.
When driving this like GTP car, what were some of the things that impressed you about it?
Oh, so many things. I mean, just inside for me, I've also never experienced any Formula cars, so seating position is completely different. The whole overview you're having, the speed is incredible. But one thing I really felt was so extreme was how quick you're actually going, but how comfortable it made you feel driving it. So it didn't really feel that fast, but it was super fast. And yeah, and then obviously all the aerodynamics, all the systems behind brakes. It's a massive step forward compared to a GT3. So a lot of things I had to learn from driver's point of view as well. And yeah, it was good to already get a first taste and hopefully maybe in the future more.
Yeah, when you look at some of and of course you guys are literally everywhere, in Rolex, and of course as uh as in the as in all around the states. Of course, when you have somebody like have you met Bill Alberlin yet?
Yes, I did.
What was that like?
He's a legend. No, it was really cool. I met him for the first time in 2021 when we did the 24-hour Sebring together on the M4 GT3. It was really nice. I mean, it's he can explain you so many things. You can learn so much from him. And I was still 19 years old, so for me it was really fresh. And then it was good to see him last year again when he came over to Germany to do the Legends race of BMW around the Nürburgring. So no, I love hanging out with him. He's a really cool guy.
What is it like to race in the 24 hours of Nuremberg?
It's special, you know. I've had the opportunity to see it first of all without the fans, which was intense race, but obviously you hear all these stories about fans and so on, and you're kind of missing them. So last year, first time with the fans, really, yeah, got the full experience, let's say, and it's an incredible event. There's so many people around. It's super nice going through the forest and yeah, smelling barbecue and so on. It's a really nice event, super super tough, and yeah, hopefully we can have a good go at it this year.
Yeah. When you look at just the racing, the career that you've had, can you believe that you are where you are at today with all the stuff that you've been able to do?
Um, yeah and no. I mean, I always for us it was a difficult situation because we are not coming from a family which has a wealthy background, let's say. So it was always yeah, not painful, but very hard work and trying to get everything always aligned with money and so on, sponsors, partners. So it was a really tough time. But on the other side, I had so much support from my family. I pushed quite hard myself, which yeah, in the end, then I was super happy to get the chance to join BMW.
Yeah. Um, so what's it of course this weekend with the Rolex 24, what's going to be the biggest thing that what's the biggest thing that these guys are going to have to do to win this race? Of course you've driven this car. What's it going to be like?
I mean, we've already seen in qualifying, trouble can come really quickly at you, especially with the GTP cars now, where doing a correction with the car is not that easy anymore, like you would catch it with a GT3. So it's really staying out of trouble, making zero mistakes. Good strategy, have the car in good conditions towards the end of the race. And as we know in IMSA, then the last couple of hours, it's where it's really getting intense. So yeah, I hope the boys they are really prepared. So I hope they will do well. And then yeah, let's see in the end who has the outright pace to win the race.
For sure. All right. Well, Max, thank you so much for coming on and joining us for a few minutes. And
Thank you.
best of luck in your racing this season. And we'll let's have you on again sometime later this year.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you so much.